the worst thing you've ever done?
Like what, with my sister?
No, just in general. Like the worst thing.
Probably stealing the stuff from the place I worked, like McDonald's.
Oh. Yeah.
I felt bad about that. Don't say where to begin. Who in my chat said where to begin? I did not commit tax evasion. That is not true. I just chose to not pay my taxes in 2022. But I paid them. I paid them now.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
No. Listen, it's fine. I filed my taxes then. But you know when you have to pay them by April? I said, they don't really need the money right then.
Girl.
So I didn't pay them until like way later. But if you file, it's not illegal.
Okay, I really hope you're not setting yourself up for 4 years later, like how you've been doing recently.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah,
I
really feel like it is. Like someone is gonna check your clips and be like, "Officer, we got her."
No. Seriously, I swear to you, okay? I swear. That is like, I'm good now. Okay. I think.
That's good. We should check on that.
I might still owe money from 2023, but I don't think so. I'm pretty sure. What was the worst thing you've ever done?
The worst thing worst thing that I feel the most guilty for that I've ever done was I told my family friend's daughter, I broke the news to her that she was adopted on accident. It was the worst thing I've ever done. But I was like 8, you know what I mean? Like I was stupid, young, dumb. I was also really mad. We were fighting and then I broke the news to her and she didn't know. And she looked at me and she was like, "I'm adopted?" I got in so much trouble. It was the worst thing I've ever done.
And you guys say that I'm mean? Are we dead ass right now? What the actual fuck?
You are mean.
Right.
Are you kidding me? I did that when I was 8 years old. I'm reformed.
Okay, so you were an evil 8-year-old. I have never in my life told somebody that they were adopted.
You want to go band for band on our issues?
Gladly.
Okay. What else have you done?
All right, well, one time. Oh, this one's really bad. When I was in elementary school, I used to love to throw rocks out of the school bus window, like tiny little pebbles. And one time...
There's no way.
Well, this one's really bad. One time, we were... I threw a little tiny rock out of the window, it was a baby pedal. And I didn't realize we were coming to a bus stop. And it hit my best friend Kayla's glasses. And I was 6 years old at the time. So I was too scared to admit it to her. So I was too scared to admit it to her. So when she got on the bus and her mom came in and said, "Who hit my daughter in the face with a rock?" I said, "Ooh, we are too poor to pay for her glasses." So I never admitted it. And then she had to get new glasses and her parents had to pay for it. And I didn't tell my dad until I was like 2 years ago. I never told him.
2 years ago?
Yeah, I never told him. Your next thing?
Ugh, I'm also ashamed of this. Okay. Another really bad thing I did was in 3rd grade, we had this reading competition and you're supposed to write down like all the books, you read the books, and then my teacher would hand custom make these trophies out of wood, and they were really cool, and I love wood. And I also love winning to a fault. And so...
we know.
I'm reformed. I cheated so freaking hard. I would read books that were just pictures. Write down the books. Like, I wrote down so many books that literally would have like 8 words in it. And I won the competition. And I got the trophy.
You want to hear my other story, by the way, of something I did wrong?
Yes.
This one is really bad. Okay? So, I was really into this guy during my freshman year of high school. And I really wanted to like go on a date with him, but I couldn't because my dad wouldn't let me date. And so I was going to have him bring me Starbucks, okay, at my house when my dad was gone to work. I swear to you, that's what he brought me. He actually brought me Starbucks, okay?
Blood? Question mark?
No. No. He actually brought me like Starbucks.
Uh-huh.
And then my neighbor snitched and told him that a guy was at our house in the backyard. So my dad rushed home, and I was so scared. I told the guy, like, hey, you can't hang out here. Like, drop the Starbucks off and go, because I thought my dad might find out. Mm-hmm. Yeah. My dad rushed home and then beat my ass. I got an ass beating that day. And then he said, what's the guy's name? Because he wanted to know who he was. So then I told him it was my friend Kevin from Taco Bell. And Kevin got yelled at by my father because my father drove to the Taco Bell and yelled at Kevin. And
it was
Kevin,
a real person from Taco Bell?
I panicked.
You picked a real
I thought my dad would fact check
Bell?
it. I didn't know my dad would fact check it. I didn't know, and I panicked. So then my dad goes to Taco Bell, and Kevin's at the front counter, and he cusses Kevin out. And he said, don't ever come to my daughter's house again, like my house again, and mess with my daughters. And the guys, apparently the employees were like, sir, he has been here for the past, like, his entire shift. Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh my God.
I go to school the next day, and I was a part of Filipino Culture Club, right?
Which I still don't know how you were part of it.
Without
even a DNA test.
Well, to be fair, it was an Asian culture club, but like it was run by like a Filipino culture association, but then they made it an Asian culture club like in school. So it was like both. But then the next day in school, that guy was venting about how this crazy dad showed up at his job and was like saying that he was messing with somebody's daughter. And he said, I don't even know who he's talking about or what he's talking about. And I was like, yeah, that's crazy. Like,
oh my gosh.
And I never told him.
You never told him?
And I didn't even tell my dad until 2 years ago. My dad found out 2 years ago that wasn't the guy.
Well, you're full of secrets.
No, that one was just like, that's probably the worst thing I've ever done. That was really bad. That's really bad. That's not true. I also watched porn on a BlackBerry. That was pretty bad. It's a dark time. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. For fun or like, did someone tell you?
No, but do you know like when you first are discovering the world?
Yeah.
It was like one of those, I was just dumb and like curious and like I decided for whatever reason to search it on a BlackBerry and then I got grounded and then I was so scared that he was going to look at the BlackBerry search history.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay, your go.
Okay. Oh, God. I got framed for watching porn with a friend. Okay, this is what happened.
Okay.
I mean, this isn't a bad thing, but it reminded me of this story. So, I had this friend, let's call her Kim, because her name was Kim. Fuck that bitch. That was her name.
Okay.
We were literally best friends, okay? And I was over at her place. She had an older brother. And I go over, and she's like, Rachel. She's like, Rachel, come here. I gotta show you something. She's in her brother's room. And so we go in, and she's on his computer, and she's like, look at this. And it's straight up porn. I've never seen porn before. This is my first time ever seeing porn. She's like, look at this. And we're like giggling and stuff. We're looking at all the wieners and everything.
Oh
and
my gosh.
She's like, look down the hallway and let me know if you hear him coming.
Okay.
And he starts coming down the hallway, and I freeze. Like, I actually start panicking.
Yeah.
He comes in, and he sees what we're doing, and we scramble. We run all the way. We're hiding in the kitchen. He snitches on us. And then she gets called over to talk to her parents.
No.
And then they come out, and they're like, you're not welcome to come here ever again.
And they
kicked me out, and she literally told them it was my fault, and I was on his PC looking up porn.
Wait, that's actually crazy. What the fuck?
Yeah, it ruined our friendship. It was so awful.
Okay, I would never. That is so valid. I would never be friends with her again.
And she straight up blamed me.
Like,
I
ever.
mean, she was a compulsive liar. She also told me she was every ethnicity in the world. She also, we lived on this hill, and there was like a pasture down below, and she convinced me that the person down there that owned these horses stole the horses. And so we went down and released them. And we were riding them bareback and like releasing them into the wild. And then he called the cops. We were there. And then luckily he was my old soccer coach. So he was like, oh, okay, I understand. He let us go.
Oh,
Luckily.
that's nice.
But straight up committing crimes.
Yeah, that is actually crime
You know?
committing. I never like committed crimes or anything like that. I don't think. I was way too scared. My dad was really strict. Like really, really strict.
To the point where you couldn't even like leave the house ever.
Yeah. Like, stop saying cap.
Why are they spamming crush?
Why are they saying cap? I do not understand. What are the question marks
Tax
from?
evasion is a crime.
I didn't tax evade. I just didn't pay for a little bit, but they now have their money. Is that a problem? You know?
I did have to go to court for stealing before.
Kill yourself, you fucking lose.
Okay, that's... I did tell somebody to kill themselves, but it wasn't me saying this to
Wait.
somebody. To clarify...
This is crazy.
No,
You're
no. Do you know why I don't like this clip? Can I explain?
What?
Because out of context, this...
Why is there the America flag?
Because they made it out like I'm January 6th. But can I clarify? All of these clips I actually hate because it was when Agent was trying to teach me to shit talk. So it's a lot of these are from me being taught to shit talk, and they said, Cinna, I want you to say this. So then they're saying caught because then I say it, and it looks so like look. I would never call somebody poor. Listen to this.
Loser bitch, you dumb fuck. Your mom doesn't love you, okay? No one's gonna show up at your funeral. You should fucking
That's so
die.
mean.
You're a waste of space. No one likes you. You shouldn't even be breathing. I wouldn't even breathe the dusty ass, poor ass air that you have.
And if you watch the clip, that's from a stream.
Poor air?
No, it's from a stream with Agent.
Crazy.
Agent told me to say it.
Air does not discriminate.
Agent told me, I swear to you, somebody said, I mean, is she wrong? Please do not use this chat on people. You know? And also, that is not a crime. Thank you very much.
That was a lot.
It's out of context. You know? It's out of context. But he literally, we were practicing trash talk. And
Yeah.
that was my trash talk.
That seems a little too natural, I'm not gonna lie.
No,
Nah,
I would
she
never.
didn't even stutter. Did not even.
Cinna stealing 10K is a crime. I've never stolen 10K. I stole a lot of Southwest McChicken wraps from McDonald's. And
And that's
sue me.
valid.
Exactly. So sue me. They were good. And I was hungry. And I got paid $7.25 an hour. If anything, I was taking the rest of my paycheck home. Thank you very much. You know what I mean? Like, are we that ass? Is there anything else I've done that's really bad? The first time I ever watched porn. Well, not the first time. This one's bad. I don't know if I should tell this, actually.
Oh my. Okay, be careful. I'm a little worried about.
I can tell it. One time it was when I was curious. Like, again, you're just curious as a teenager. Like, you don't know.
Yeah.
But I was also like a young teenager. And like, that's normally, realistically, that is the age when kids start going like, what is this? You know what I mean? Like, they're like, oh, you hear these adult things. And you're like, what are these adult things? And, yeah, probably around like 14. And like, so I looked up, inappropriate, or I looked up a gaming website.
She Googled inappropriate images.
Sorry, not an inappropriate thing. I looked up a gaming website that had it was like a one of those shitty ones. It had a porn ad on the side at my grandma's house. And me being like a curious 14-year-old that's dumb, I was like, what is that? Like, this is the second time I've ever seen this. So I clicked it. And I forgot to clear the search history in the laptop. Forgot.
Oh, you got caught.
My grandma, she's very religious. Very. Like, seeing something like that would literally destroy her world. And she comes out and says, your grandfather found like porn websites in the search history. Like, did you guys do anything? And because they were not very tech savvy at the time, like my grandma could not tell you how to turn on a laptop.
Yeah.
I told her, well, Grandma, I said, if the neighbors somehow connected to the Wi-Fi by accident, their search history will show up on our computer.
Oh.
So, and she believed it. I got off scotch-free.
No way! You actually got away with
She
that?
believed it. She never asked again. And I think actually she went to the neighbors and told them that their son might be watching porn. But I got off scotch-free. Fully. It was actually the smartest tactic ever.
Wait, that's a crazy lie. Oh, you want to know the craziest lie I've ever been part of?
Go ahead.
Okay, so back in my weed era, when I was a mega stoner, we would drive 3 hours to go to Seattle because there were dispensaries in Washington.
Right, so you go buy them.
Yeah, and I had a green card. So we'd go all the way to Seattle. We would buy a ton of weed, and we would buy a bunch at a time because we didn't want to travel that often.
Yeah.
And so when we came back, we were parked outside of a random person's house, and we were gonna smoke. Me and this guy. The people living there called the cops. We were really high.
Ooh.
The people living there called the cops. The cops come, and he's like, roll down the window. We're freaking out, right? Because we definitely have like way too much weed.
Yeah, like it's
way
like
too
over
much
the legal
weed.
limit and
Yes,
everything.
yes.
Yeah.
And we roll down the window. Obviously, it's like hotbox. It just straight up smells like smoke.
Right.
And it's just so obvious we're high. And I'm freaking out because,
Right.
you know, I'm paranoid as frick. And the cop is like, okay, hand it over. That's all he says. Hand it over. And then I look over at my friend, and he looks over at me. And they're like gallon bags of weed are like in the glove box. He, oh my God, it was genius. He slowly reaches down on the floor and grabs this tiny dime piece bag with a tiny little nugget in it. And he hands it to the officer, and the officer like looked at it and he was like, "This is all you guys were worried about?" He was like, "Why were you guys so worried? Don't even worry about it."
Oh.
And he let us go.
You
Let us go. It was we look after he left, we look over at each other super high. We look over each other, we're like, what just happened?
Bro, you guys are so lucky.
That was the craziest lie I've ever been.
Were the cops where
involved
you live,
in.
were they nice?
Huh?
Were they nice? The cops where you live?
No. The cops were all assholes. Like
Bro,
actual assholes.
the cops in Virginia were fucking horrible. You know, I had one make me get out of my car, like when I was a teenager, because he wanted to look at my car illegally.
What?
And I didn't know. I was like a dumb 16-year-old. And so I was leaving work. He said, you have like, there was like a crack on my windshield on the passenger side, but it was very small. And I guess he could see it from behind. So he pulls me over and he's like, I want to make sure your registration, everything's up to date, like all of it.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. And he goes, I need to look behind the sticker to see what the sticker says, because it was like Virginia. And I said, okay. So he's like, I want you to get out of the car and stand in the front of the car. I'm like, okay. He gets in my car, looks behind the sticker, and then looks around like to see if there's like weed or anything.
Weird.
And I told my dad later, and I think it was like my dad was like, he was like, don't like that. They cannot do that. If a cop ever tries to like look in your car, they have to ask you, and you can say no, especially if you're not doing anything wrong. I did not know.
Yeah, that's
So I like
wrong.
freaked out. I was like, no. Virginia cops are assholes. You know what I always tell people? Because they always try to debate, is Virginia the South? Which, to be fair, it's not like Louisiana South, but like Virginia was the capital of the Confederacy. You cannot tell me that's not South. You can't. But also, then I tell people all the time, if you want to know Virginia is South, if you are anything but white, go speed down the highway and see how the cops treat you. Some of those cops in Virginia they're such assholes. It sucks. It actually sucks. But things are like changing now. They're changing now.
Right. Yeah,
they're
surely changing now.
Well, you know, they took down the Robert E. Lee statue that was in the middle of Richmond. Did you even know that was
I don't know anything about the East. I'm not gonna lie.
Bro, so let me tell you how crazy Virginia was with this, okay? This is not like a political thing at all, to clarify. This is just something that like, it was like common sense. In the middle of Richmond, because it's a historic town, they had a slave trading post that was a historic relic in the middle of the town. And Richmond decided in like 2020, 2021, hey, we should probably take this down because it's like, that's a little crazy to have in the middle of the town, right? It's a little crazy. There was a protest and a riot because people were like, you cannot take that down. Da-da-da-da-da. That's history. And I said, bitch.
That's crazy.
I said, bitch. Like, they were going to put it in a museum. I said,
Museum?
I was like, maybe common sense wise, like, right? If I was like just a common sense person, I would maybe not have that, like, in the middle of the town. Like, that'd be kind of crazy, right? I was like, what the fuck? You think people are going to come here and see that and be like, wow, I love that
this is my type of town.
Right, like, next to the town hall, slay. Like, no, bitch. They need to get that shit. Go put it in a museum. Like, what the actual fuck is that? I said, that is crazy. What the fuck? It was nuts. But yeah, Virginia's crazy. So whenever people say it's not South, I always, like, roll my eyes. But I guess it's because it's, like, middle. Do you want to go to Virginia ever?
I've never, ever been. The only places I've been to on the East is New York, Georgia, and Florida.